All right, guys. So in light of the current Durham trial going on involving former Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussmann, in which it is becoming very clear, right, that the whole Trump-Russia collusion story was just bunk that came from the Hillary Clinton campaign, something that us on the right knew was the case the whole time, right? We knew it was made up the whole time. We knew it was disinformation the whole time, okay? But the left-wing media ran with it. There's this hilarious video exposing the lies of Hillary Clinton and the mainstream liberal media that was made by Mr. Matt Alfa in conjunction with Matt Taibbi, okay? In which they basically make the argument that, you know, Hillary should be banned from Twitter because what she put out here in regards to Trump organization being linked to a Russian-based bank, Alfa Bank, is a lie. It is, in fact, disinformation, right? It was disinformation that was used in an attempt to influence the 2016 election. And after the man was elected, they used that in an attempt to try to overturn the 2016 election, okay? Because this led to the fake news of the whole Russian dossier, the Mueller investigation, all things that were a waste of time and or taxpayer money, right? So again, the question is, should she be banned from Twitter? And based off this video, yes, she should be banned from Twitter, right? If they're going to apply their standards equally, the same way they applied to Trump. Not only just that, but the mainstream liberal media should also be defunded by advertisers if we're going by the same standards that they applied to right-wing outlets like Fox News and Newsmax. So without further ado, I actually want to play this hilarious compilation here because it really does show you how much of a clown show the mainstream liberal media is, considering how much they are supposed to be against misinformation/disinformation, but they are the main peddlers of misinformation and disinformation. Take a look.
You try to make sure anything you put out into the public arena is accurate.
Hillary approved planting a false Russia story.
On Halloween, October 31st, 2016, just before the presidential election, Franklin 4 published...
Was a Trump server communicating with Russia?
It's a mysterious piece.
Trump connected to Russia.
Was there a connection between a Russian bank and the Trump campaign?
A connection between a Russian bank and the Trump campaign?
Not only is there clearly something there, but there's clearly something that someone has gone to great lengths to conceal.
Akin to what criminal syndicates do.
An explosive story
linking the Trump organization to a Russian bank.
Alfa Bank.
The most direct link between Donald Trump and Moscow.
The Russian bank, Alfa Bank.
The key to unlocking Trump's ties to Russia.
The Russian bank, accused of colluding with the Trump campaign.
Confirms our worst fears about Trump.
I mean, what more evidence do you need?
Folks, I'm an expert.
It's very, very obvious.
Alfa Bank pinging the Trump organization server.
Implicit allegations of collusion with the Trump campaign.
Connection between the Alfa Bank server and the Trump organization.
Connection between the Trump organization and a Russian bank.
A possible conspiracy. We're just living in kind of suspended animation as we await the findings that Mueller is going to come out with.
Director Mueller, Slate published a report suggesting that a server at Trump Tower was secretly communicating with Russia's Alfa Bank. And do you know if that story is true?
My belief at this point is not true.
I'm really bothered still about the server connection between Trump Tower and Alfa Bank.
The Russian Alfa Bank.
Alfa Bank, whose server was found in Trump Tower.
Alfa Bank, boy, there are a lot of dots that are starting to be laid out here.
Alfa Bank. I feel like there are a lot of dots here. I'm worried about all the little dots that I see out there. Alfa Bank. It looks quite disturbing. Dots.
These connections.
You know, what was being transmitted?
That could be a missing link in terms of figuring out how involved the Trump campaign was in the Russian effort to interfere in the election.
This is really important.
Some sort of odd computer server connection. The Alfa Bank, Trump Tower.
Suspicious web traffic.
Dots that are being connected by Special Prosecutor Mueller.
And if we stop chipping away at it, we're not going to get to the big answer.
It's not true.
When it came time for Robert Mueller's report, the Mueller report didn't mention the Alfa Bank thing at all. And honestly, it has been driving me nuts. The Alfa Bank server mystery. Strange, unexplained, vexing little mystery.
Very vexing.
The mystery of Trump's ties to Russia.
Mysterious contact.
The mystery still unsolved. So mysterious.
The Alfa Bank server talking to the Trump Organization server does sort of look like the Trump Organization and that Kremlin-connected Russian bank. Alfa Bank did have something weird going on as they tried to keep secret. Computer communication between different computers, mysterious electronic communications.
Strange communications between Alfa Bank and Trump Tower.
This bank in Moscow was communicating.
Trump Alfa Bank communications.
Why was the Trump Tower server communicating with Alfa Bank?
Alfa Bank Trump server communications.
Secret server to communicate with Russian Alpha Bank.
Why the hell is a Russian bank communicating with a server that belongs to the Trump Organization? Communications between somebody at Alpha and somebody at Trump Organization. Computer communication. A computer server communicating. Unexplained communication. Covert communication.
Covert communication channel.
Nefarious secret communications. Communicating. Unexplained communications. Communication between the Trump server and the Russian Alpha Bank server. Unexplained communication. A secret line of communication. What kind of communication? Why was it communicating? The content of the communications remains the holy grail here.
If there were communications, this is just metadata. So
the FBI ultimately concluded that it could be spam.
Really strange, unanswered communications.
But we do know that the FBI apparently took the communication between those servers quite seriously.
The FBI had actually ruled out anything nefarious.
That is classic propaganda, and the Russians are really good at it.
Crazy, right?
Whereas the true grail will bring you life, the false grail will take it from you.
And in this case, Michael Sussmann is a former lawyer for Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign. He's charged with lying to the FBI.
So if we're going by the standards set by the mainstream liberal media, social media, and the Democrat Party, Hillary Clinton should be banned from Twitter, okay? She should be labeled an insurrectionist, okay? Because she basically tried to overturn the 2016 election, right? She tried to influence the outcome and then tried to overturn it afterwards, okay? Because we use taxpayer dollars based off this disinformation from the Hillary campaign to investigate the connections between the Trump campaign and Russia, aka the Mueller investigation, which again was a waste of time. And then we had to use more taxpayer money, aka the Durham investigation that was issued by Trump in order to actually prove that all that stuff was a waste of time and a myth, okay? We had to go through fake documents like the Steele dossier that smeared the president's name, okay? Tried to say that he liked getting golden showers from Russian prostitutes, put out all types of false, misleading disinformation about the president. This is the same person, okay, that was conducting official State Department business on a secret server, okay, in her house, not connected to the government, okay? Yeah, Hillary Clinton should be thrown in jail, right? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now, right? She should be brought up on charges, okay, and thrown in prison, right? And, you know, again, she should be banned from social media. Now, again, the mainstream liberal media, knowing that this was bunk, knowing that it was fake, ran with it as if it was fact, okay? Ran with it as if it was fact. And the standard that they set when it came to Trump and what happened in 2020 and the claims that he made, they said, well, if you make these claims, not only should you be banned from social media, you should be banned from society, right? You should be boycotted by banks, okay? This is what they called for. This is what they said. Not only to just Trump, but also Trump supporters and anybody involved in what happened during the 2020 election, right? That was working for the Trump campaign, okay? They said, no. You guys, again, should be banned from social media, banned from society. You shouldn't even be able to feed your families, right? Or have a life, okay? This is what they try to do. And as a media outlet, if you run with those claims, if you give any legitimacy to those claims, you should be defunded, right? Advertisers should pull their ads from your channel, right? Your news station, particularly Fox News, Newsmax, and OAN. That's what they call for. But as you saw in that video clip, MSNBC and one of their most prominent purveyors of propaganda, okay, Democrat Party liberal propaganda, Rachel Maddow, ran with the disinformation, the misinformation of the Trump collusion hoax, okay? They ran with that. And an attempt to try to influence the outcome of the 2016 election. Not only just that, but also afterwards is a way to smear the president and to try to turn the public against him, right? To delegitimize his presidency. So again, if the mainstream liberal media was living up to their own standards, they should be calling for themselves to be defunded, right? They should be defunded, okay? They should also be calling for Hillary to be banned from social media, to be banned from society. That's what she deserves, according to the mainstream liberal media, if you make these types of claims, which they did, right? That's exactly what they did, okay? Based off a false premise, false claims, right? Now, with that being said, we know that they're not actually going to do that, right? Because they don't have standards. They have no standards at all. It is rules for thee, not for me. If you guys do something like this, if you guys make these type of claims, then you're insurrectionists. But they can make these type of claims and they're not insurrections. They're fighting for democracy, right? They're trying to save democracy. When democracy spoke in 2016 and showed us that, hey, the people want Trump to be president. But when they don't like democracy, it's totally fine. They're fighting for democracy. They're fighting for freedom. Okay? When conservatives are dissatisfied with the outcome of democracy, it's, well, you're insurrectionists. Again, it's funny how this stuff works, right? But I guess I want to say this before I end this video. I am glad that people on the right and conservatives don't necessarily call for the same things that the liberal media do, right? Because even though, according to the liberal media standards, and leftists, they deserve to be defunded. Hillary Clinton deserves to be banned from society. That's not necessarily something that I want to see, because I know how the pendulum swings, right? The pendulum always swings the other way. I just wish that these people would stop calling for their political opponents' lives to be ruined based off things that they do themselves, right? They do the exact same things, but yet they want their political opponents' lives to be ruined over it, okay? But when they do the exact same things, they're like, oh, well, no punishment for us, right? They don't want to live by their own standards or principles. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.